Welcome back to the Psychological Paradigm Shift podcast. I hope you found the last episode informational and helpful. I am Ed Rieger, your host. People have told me to explain who I am as part of the introduction. I am the creator of the Psychological Paradigm Shift movement. You can find the entire layout of the movement on my website, psychologicalparadigmshift.com. On the website, you will learn what the mission of the movement is, the books I've written or I'm going to release, the laws I am beginning to release, the podcast episodes, and you'll be able to follow my political activities when we launch. Always remember, I am only providing my personal opinions based on my experiences and education on psychological topics. We will be talking about mental illness in a very blunt, transparent manner. The topics may be disturbing to some, and it will never be my intent to hurt anyone, only to share my ideas and thoughts. Tonight we're going to cover neglect of a child and the questions you may want to ask your potential romantic partner. When you grow up in a mentally ill family, there are so many abuses that a parent or caregiver can inflict on you that you just keep up with it. You just can't keep up with it as you're going through it all as a child. But as you age, you may start to open your eyes and come out of the fog to realize the unbelievable impact of that abuse. There's one form of abuse that I think everyone in society just overlooks completely, and that's neglect. Tonight we're going to dig into this form of abuse and help you understand what your potential romantic partner may be living with and have lived through. Neglect comes in so many forms. It can be neglect of time, medical needs, education, nutrition, financial support, abandonment, physical activities, psychological treatments, and social functioning. Mentally ill parents do not have the psychological ability to have compassion for their children. They are so involved with their own psychological issues, they really don't have any concern for what their child is experiencing or what needs their child may have. Not only will the neglect come from the parent or direct caretaker, it will come from the entire family structure. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, siblings. Every family member has been taught from all the generations before how to neglect each other's needs. The abuse is generational and I think extremely complex. I do believe it may take generations, maybe many, to try and address this issue and to rectify it. All right, let's get started with the questions. Did your parents ever leave you alone for an extended time period? I was left alone quite a bit as a child. Like a day, days, week, month, or longer. I was usually left by myself multiple days at a time. When your parent left, did they provide oversight from a relative, neighbor, or sitter? Or were you just left alone to take care of yourself? Did your parent provide food for you to eat while they were gone? Most of the time, never. Or did you have to care for yourself in any way you could? For me, I mostly just wandered the streets, trying to find food where I could. Did your parents leave money for you to use for food? Never. I would try to beg my friends' parents for food. I would eat food off the ground or wherever I could find it. Or I would do some kind of labor to try to raise money to buy food. How many days did you go without food? Usually multiple. I have no idea how many days it was when I was homeless. Did your parent ever leave information on how to contact them in some kind of emergency or if you had some need? I was never left any information. Were you supported by your parents in daily, weekly school assignments? I wasn't ever. Did your parents ever provide medical treatments for things like dentist, optometrist, annual checkups from pediatricians? Usually only when it was an emergency was there some kind of activity by a parent. If you got sick with a cold or other ailment, did your parent provide you treatments? Not normally. You just toughed it out. If you were sexually abused from someone other than your parents, did your parents ever know about the sexual abuse? Never. No one ever spoke about it, period. Did you ever feel safe and protected from your parents? Never. Did you ever feel like you were nothing to your parents? This is something you don't realize until you get older, but when they didn't feed you and they do things like throw you into the streets, then you have to accept that they really were telling you that you didn't mean anything to them. I know that's harsh for a lot of people to think about or to hear out loud, but some parents are like that. Do you think your parents really did not care if you lived or died? I don't know if they thought about it like that. The neglect was just the neglect to them. If I had died, they would have found out from somebody in the neighborhood or something. Do you think anyone in your family, grandparents, siblings, other families, ever really cared if you lived or died? As a child, I don't think so. When you experienced traumatic events in your childhood, did your parents ever get you psychological help? No. Were you ever abandoned by your parent or parents? Yes, first by my father, then by my mother. How many times were you abandoned by your parent or parents? Did anyone in your family ever come to look for you while you were abandoned? No one ever did. How did the behavior of your parents, siblings, grandparents, other family members make you feel about having children of your own? This can be a very complicated question, and it will depend if you are talking to a chaos chaser or a fog lifter. Do you think you ever want to have children? Me personally, no. Why not? For me, the family foundation does not exist, and I could never imagine having a child where there was no family to count on to support the child, support me. So no, I don't ever think of myself as being a parent. What would ever change your thinking about having your own children? Nothing. If you had children, would anyone in your family ever care if they lived or died? I don't know. If you had children, could you ever count on any family member to take care of your child and protect and provide for their needs? No, I don't think so. Unless that family member could address their own psychological issues, and I don't see any of the younger generation members doing that. Abuse by neglect is so silent. You don't see a bruise, a black eye. The child is not crying out loud. But you can guarantee as this child ages and becomes an adult, it's there. It may be buried deep, but it's there. I think when a person is raised in this kind of environment, they build walls of distrust that make it difficult to communicate through. I believe that's why there are two top reasons for divorce. One is lack of communication, and the other one is lack of intimacy. The neglect as a child may be a big part of both of these reasons for divorcing. Abuse by neglect may be a major reason that you need to be concerned when dating or planning on marrying somebody. And it's definitely a big red flag, for you to watch out for. Okay, we're going to go ahead and stop there. I want to thank you for sharing time with me tonight. I hope the information was helpful to you as we progress through our psychological paradigm shift. Remember, you can go to the website, psychologicalparadigmshift.com. I'll post updates when I have them, and you can sign up to receive future information. I look forward to next week's episode. It will be on psychological education and self-assessment analysis. Take care of yourselves.